Good afternoon, everyone. President Trump is very sad and angry after hearing about the terrible murder of two young staff members from the Israeli embassy in Washington, D.C. Their names were Yuran Lashinsky and Sarah McGrim. They were a beautiful and loving couple. In fact, Yuran had planned to propose to Sarah next week in Jerusalem. This tragedy has deeply hurt their families and all who knew them. Yuran's father said they were in love and were very special at the embassy. The president has asked the Attorney General and the Department of Justice to fully investigate the crime and punish the person responsible. He said that hatred, especially anti-Semitism, has no place in America. Everyone at the White House is praying for the victims' families and friends during this very painful time. President Trump also has a busy schedule ahead. On Saturday, he will give the graduation speech at the United States Military Academy at West Point. On Monday, for Memorial Day, he will visit Arlington National Cemetery and take part in a wreath-laying ceremony to honor fallen soldiers. Then, on June 14th, he will lead a big celebration in Washington, D.C. for the 250th anniversary of the United States Army. This celebration will include a large military parade with veterans, active duty troops, wounded warriors, and patriotic Americans from across the country. Tickets for this special event can be booked through the America 250 Commission. After the celebration, President Trump will travel to Canada for the G7 Leaders Summit from June 15th to 17. There was also big news from Congress last night. Republicans in the House passed an important new law called the One Big Beautiful Bill. This bill is a major step in fulfilling President Trump's promises to the American people. It includes the biggest tax cuts in U.S. history for middle-class families, small businesses, and workers. It ends taxes on tips and overtime pay, offers savings accounts for newborn babies, and gives tax breaks for seniors. It also helps American car makers with new tax benefits. The bill also focuses strongly on immigration and border security. It provides more money for finishing the border wall, supports ICE and Border Patrol officers with bonuses and raises, and starts the largest deportation plan in history. It removes over 1 million illegal immigrants each year and blocks them from getting Medicaid. The bill also adds work requirements for able-bodied adults who want to receive Medicaid support. At the same time, it protects benefits for the most vulnerable Americans, like the elderly and disabled. The bill also helps fix the country's finances by reducing the national deficit. It includes $1.6 trillion in savings over the next few years, the largest savings in almost 30 years. Every Democrat in the House voted against this bill, even though most of the ideas in it are very popular with the American people. The president believes this bill will help lead the country into a new golden age. He hopes the Senate will pass. It's soon so he can sign it into law. Later today, President Trump will host an event called Make America Healthy Again, also known as the MAHA event. He will be joined by Secretary Kennedy and other officials. They will share the MAHA Commission report, which talks about how to improve children's health in the U.S. The report is based on scientific research and is the first of its kind. It shows what we know about childhood diseases and what still needs to be learned. The goal is to help all children grow up healthy, happy, and safe. As we head into the Memorial Day weekend, there is some good news about gas prices. According to the Gas Buddy platform, the average price of gas across the country will be $3.80 per gallon this Memorial Day. This is cheaper than last year, and when adjusted for inflation, it is the second lowest Memorial Day gas price since 2003. The White House says this is thanks to President Trump's strong energy policies. In other news, the Department of Homeland Security recently deported several very dangerous illegal immigrants. These included people convicted of murder, rape, and other violent crimes. However, a judge in Massachusetts, Judge Brian Murphy, is trying to block the deportation of these criminals. He wants them to be allowed to reopen their immigration cases and speak to lawyers. The Trump administration strongly disagrees and says this is putting Americans in danger. The president believes that these individuals had final orders for removal and should not be allowed to stay. This legal battle is part of the bigger struggle between the Trump administration and some liberal judges who are trying to stop the president from using his legal powers to keep the country safe. Nearly 80 million Americans voted for President Trump to take strong action on illegal immigration, and recent polls show that 90% of Americans want illegal criminal immigrants deported. The White House hopes the Supreme Court will soon stop this kind of judicial overreach and help restore the proper order.